Hi you guys, it's me Shantae and welcome back to another episode of Shake It Up with Shantae. If you've been here before, welcome back as always, and if this is your first time tuning in, welcome, and thank you guys as well. Look, listen, today I'm going to show y'all a very simple and easy way to make homemade gravy from scratch. Homemade gravy from scratch, but of course you read the title, it's going to be cube steak. I'm going to show you how to fry that, show you how to make your gravy over some rice. Without further ado, let's shake something up. All right, of course, I got me some cube steak right here, y'all. So I got me a small little pack of cube steak from my local Food Depot. It was $5.23. It's 3 pieces in here. Most of the time, cube steak come big and you can cut them in half. Cube steak is cube steak. It's a cheaper brand of steak. Really not steak to me if you ask me, but it says it's cube steak. But I like it. I really like it. So I like to make gravy. Homemade gravy from scratch when I make my cube steak. Of course, you're going to need an onion if you like it, which I love it. Some garlic powder, some salt, some parsley, some meat tenderizer, some black pepper, onion powder, and a little flour. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is open the cube steak. We're not going to wash this steak off. You don't wash cube steak off, despite what everybody may tell you. You don't wash cube steak, baby. You don't wash the cube steak off. Do you wash your ground beef off? No, you don't wash cube steak off, okay? Alright, so we're going to take this cube steak and we're going to put it in a Ziploc bag. If you want to put your cube steak in some plastic wrap, you can do that. But I like to put my cube steak in here 1 piece at a time and just show y'all how I do this. I'm using this hand, so I'm going to move this stuff with this hand because it does have raw meat on it. So this is what I like to do. Put my cube steak in the bag just like so. And I'm just going to beat my meat a little bit. You just beat your meat a little bit, okay? Have fun beating your meat, all right? So I'm going to take that piece out, and you just kind of tenderizing it a little bit. I like mine flattened out just like that. Take my second piece out. Put it in here, just like so. Beat my meat. Just like that, okay? If you got a meat mallet, you can use that, but I don't have one because I don't beat my meat often. But anyway, I'm gonna use this little pot here I have, and it's kind of heavy, so that's how come I use it for this. You see how it stretches it, kind of thins it? I don't like my meat thick, so. All right. So that's my 3 pieces, and that's that. All right. Wash my hands real quick. All right, so I'm going to heat my oil up real quick. I'm going to put me some oil in here because everything else going to move kind of quickly. You're not deep frying this, you guys, so you don't want to put a whole bunch of oil. Just enough to kind of cover the skillet. I'm going to turn it on a little low. I don't want it to cook too fast. I'm going to put me some flour over here in my bowl. Not too much. Let me grab a fork. Get all the little lumps out. Okay. I'm going to season this flour. Garlic powder. In excess of black pepper, however much you like, but I'm using about 2 tablespoons. Onion powder, a little bit of salt. To the other side, and I'm gonna put my meat tenderizer. Even though I tenderize this by beating it, but I still like to put a little meat tenderizer because cube steak, if not done correctly, can turn out tough. All right. Just give this a good mix. You know, you can put it, whatever kind of seasoning you like, you can put it in there. If you want to put some paprika, you can do that. You can put whatever seasoning you like. You can put it in your cube steak, okay? All right, so that's all of my little seasonings that I put in there in that part. All right, so my oil is still heating up a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and start on my rice. Okay, so I know y'all seen me make rice before, but I'm gonna show you again real quick. All right, first I'm gonna put a little oil. You can put butter if you want to, but I'm putting oil. Just a little bit of oil in the bottom of my rice pan. I'm gonna turn it on low, okay? And let that heat up a little bit. And I'm gonna put my seasonings in my oil before I put my rice in there. I'm gonna put all my seasonings in there. I got a little chicken soup base. I'm gonna put that in there. And this is for my rice. This is how I like to cook my rice. So I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of that in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of Cajun spice in there. Yep, this is for my rice. Y'all gonna learn a new way today how to make this rice. I'm gonna put a little bit of this also in my flour for my cube steak. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of that in there, honey. It ain't gonna hurt. Whatever you like, whatever floats your boat, y'all, that's what y'all season y'all stuff with. Put a little bit of chili powder in here. A little bit, tablespoon. All right, and then I'm gonna put some complete as well in here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna take this out, and here's my rice that I washed off. I rinsed it off rather. I'm gonna dump this in there just like so. I'm gonna give it a good toss. Get all the seasonings up in there. Right? All the seasonings in there. And that's just seasoning. And now, since my rice is seasoned, now I'm gonna go ahead and add my water. I'm gonna put about 2.5 cups of water in this 1 cup of rice. That's 2.5. All right, so I'm gonna cover this and just let this cook for about 15 minutes. Okay. All of your seasoning, everything is gonna mix in there, mix all up and dissolve and go away. All right. Now let's get back over here on the cube steak. All right, so I'm mixing this. I told y'all I added that seasoning to it, that Cajun seasoning, so my oil should be ready. You just take a little bit of flour. If it cooks up like that, your oil is ready. If the flour sinks to the bottom, your oil is not ready. So if you take a little flour and you do it like that, see how I fry and it disappear? That means your oil ready. All right? So we're gonna take this cube steak, drench it in flour, just like so. Okay. Go ahead and put it right over here in my oil. Now I could have cut these in half, but I probably will cut them in half once they get done. Before I make my gravy, because I'm going to smother them in gravy. Okay, I'm going to cook 2 at a time, let them fry, just like so. Okay, while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start slicing up my onion to make my gravy. Now, I like to make my gravy from scratch, homemade. A lot of people don't. They buy it in the packet, but whatever works for you, sis and brother, work for you. I like to make my gravy from scratch, always. I've never been a person to go in the store and buy a pack of gravy. Turkey gravy, beef gravy, whatever it is, I don't buy it. I make my own. Now, if you just want to make some gravy and you don't want to fry anything, you just want to make some gravy, I'll show you how once I get to the step of making the gravy. How you can make gravy without having to use the oil or leftover drippings from a pan. But if I'm frying chicken or whatever I'm frying, I use that same drippings from that pan to make my gravy. That's how I make my gravy. That's how my mama taught me. That's how my grandma taught me. And that's just how I'm going to continue to do it. I've never buy gravy out of a pack, out of a can, out of the bottle. Well, however, I always make my gravy from scratch. But if you like it, I love it. So, showing you how I make my gravy. And I like to make my onions kind of big like that. I think that probably be enough onions for the gravy, because I'm only just making a little bit. One thing y'all got to know about, well, you don't got to know, but I'm going to let you know. If you got a cooking channel, ain't no way I'm going to make a video every day of the week. Who going to eat the food? Who going to eat the food? It's 3 people stay in my house. Me, my husband, and my daughter. And I cook maybe twice a week. I try to make a video twice a week, maybe 3 times, but 3 is pushing it for me. So, and then when I do make videos back to back, sometimes I try just to cook a little bit amount of food, because ain't nobody finna eat all these fried stuff and stuff like that. It tastes good and it looks good, you know what I'm saying? You be want to eat it every day, but you can't eat that food like that every day. So, you know, I'm trying to do a video maybe twice, maybe if I'm feeling a little generous 3 times a week, but that's it. I just had to add that little bit in there for y'all, because my husband think I'm supposed to be in here making a video every week, every day out the week, but he must be crazy. That's why they got Wingstop in places like that, because you know stopping is a wing. These 2 are done. Ooh, look at that, y'all. Look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. It smells so good in here, y'all. Oh my God. I'm going to let this cook about 2 more minutes in the center since it's in the pan by itself. And then I'm going to turn it. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and flip this last piece. I'm going to get at about 3 minutes on that side. And then we're going to be ready to start on this gravy. Okay, so you can either discard this oil however you want. You can let it cool down however you like. But what I do is I have an oil tin over here, and I strain it. Sometimes if you just let the oil just sit like that, all the particles, it'll go to the side, and I just pour mine right in there just like so. And not one single crumb went in that pan. Not one single. Okay? Not one piece went in there. Alright? Alright, so I'm going to sit that to the side right there. Now, I'm going to use this same pan, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get me a paper towel, and I'm going to take all of these drippings off here. Like I said, you can either use this, or you can use this pan, or you can start with your new pan, which I don't. What I do is take these crumbs, and all this is flour. That's all that is flour. All right. That oil that's left in there, I'm keeping that oil in there. Okay. That's the base of me starting my gravy. That little oil right there. That's probably about 4 tablespoons of oil. That little oil is the base of you starting gravy from scratch. Now, let's say you did not fry anything and you just want to make some gravy from scratch. Put your little oil in the skillet. Put your little oil, little butter, little vegan butter, whatever you want to do. Put your little oil in there and just let it heat up a little bit. Now this oil is hot, which I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on because I turned my eye off. Turn it on low, okay? With this oil, I'm going to take this flour that I drench my cube steaks in. I'm going to take a couple of forks full of that. Put it right in here. And that's probably about 3 tablespoons. You hear it's cooking? Now, I'm going to let this cook. You see how it's turning brown? I'm going to let this cook till it gets brown. Alright. just like that. That oil, that flour. I'm going to add a couple more tablespoons of flour. That makes about 4. That's about 5. 5 tablespoons of flour so far. Okay? I still have it on low. Take my fork. Get all of this. All of them good dripping. Okay? Let me grab a spatula, a small spatula, so I can make sure I get the size. I'll have a small one, but I'll use this one. See there? I want all that in my gravy. All that from around the sides, around the edges. I want all that up in my gravy. That's the flavor. Okay? That's the flavor. That's how you start your gravy. Okay? This is how I do it. Alright? Now what I'm going to do next, go ahead and put my onions in here. Okay? Go ahead and put my onions in here. Let these onions cook. Right in this gravy. With this flour and oil mixture. I know I'm going to have to re-season this. I know I'm going to have to add some salt to this and some pepper and whatever other seasonings I like. I'm going to have to add it to this. Okay? If you don't want that many onions, you don't have to put that many onions. But like I said, I like onions. It's my gravy. So, let this cook. Let it cook. Still cooking on low. Just keep mixing, y'all. Keep mixing. Keep mixing. See, it's a light brown. But I'm going to keep mixing it because I want it to be, I like my gravy dark. I like my gravy dark. I'm going to let that cook a little bit. If you feel the need to add a little bit more oil, you could just add a little bit more oil. Like I feel the need to add a little bit more oil. So that's what I'm going to do. Add a little bit more oil. Before I put any water in here. This is what I'm doing. Okay. You see that? Now you see the difference? So we're going to let this cook. We're going to continue to watch this. Let these onions get a little soft. And the longer it sits and the longer it cooks, the darker it gets. Now if you just find that your gravy for some reason won't get dark, it's okay to add a little browning in it. I don't have to add none in mine because I know it's going to get dark. But for some reason, some people put too much flour and they don't let it cook long enough. They're impatient. They don't let it cook long enough for it to get dark. See how dark it's getting? I've never been a light gravy girl. I don't even like white gravy. Alright. Let this cook for a little bit. Let me check on my rice. Alright. See, my rice is done. Turn it off. Let it sit here. Covered. Don't touch it. Let it sit there covered. Just turn it off and let it sit covered. Whatever is not done on top, which hopefully yours is going to get done with the steam and the heat is inside of the pot. So we're going to let that sit right there. Alright, so I'm going to take some hot water, y'all. Hot water. Pour it in here. This is about 1.5 cups. Pour that right in there. Don't get discouraged. It don't look like it's going to be gravy, but it is. It's going to be gravy. Okay, so you're gonna let this cook. All right, you put your water in there, you got your flour. Now you go ahead, just make sure you stir this up real good. Stir it real good, and then start putting your seasonings in here. So I know I need some more salt. I'm not even gonna taste it, but I know I need salt. So I put a little salt. Put a little black pepper. Okay. Put a little black pepper. I love black pepper, y'all, so I ain't putting just a little bit of black pepper now. Give me a couple of that. Put me a little garlic powder in there. Okay. Yep, I got onions in there, but I'm still gonna add some what? Onion powder. Why? Because it's my gravy. Okay. And I can taste it. Alright. So we're gonna keep stirring this. See how thick this gravy's gotten? How brown it is. You can let your gravy get brown if you like. I just know I like my gravy brown. I'm gonna let this cook. Pour a little bit of water in here. A little bit more. And you're just gonna keep adding. Make sure you have your heat on low. You just keep adding what you think you need. You need more. And gravy, you know, it takes time to get your gravy down pat. I can't remember how many times I called my mama and was like, "Ma, it ain't come out right. Ma, it ain't come out right." This was in my early 20s when my husband and I first got married. Y'all, even though I grew up around my mother and my grandmother cooking, I wasn't into cooking, believe it or not, when I was like a teenager. I wasn't into cooking. You know, most people, they find their niche like they like to cook when they teenagers. I didn't. You know, my grandma used to cook and I used to think like, okay, how do that? I used to do a little something, but you know, it wasn't that like that. It wasn't until, honey, when you get that first boyfriend and y'all move in together, girl, and you know, you just gotta try to cook, honey, because it used to be a saying. Put the camera on me, baby. Let me just say this. It used to be where the saying was, if you could cook, you could keep a man, or something like that. To wait till a man's heart is through his stomach. Not no more, child. This new generation of folk, they don't care if them women can cook or not. They either can cook or they either gonna go get some wings or some chicken or some fish or some crab legs, something like that. But they they used to stand maybe 20, 25 years ago, but not this day and age. Honey, these women ain't got know how to cook, keep no man now, child. So, you know, I used to call my mama every Sunday and used to be like, "Mom, how to cook such and such and such." I kid y'all, no lie. I used to cook the same meal every Sunday dinner till I perfected it. And I'm going to tell y'all what it was. I used to cook chuck roast. You remember that, babe?
Oh, yeah.
I used to cook chuck roast, macaroni cheese, collard greens, and cornbread. In my roast, I put potatoes and carrots and onions in there. And I used to cook it in that bag. You know, and I did this when me and my husband first got married. I did this every Sunday until I perfected it. And then I moved on to something else. But I used to still have to call my mama and be like, how to do this, how to do that, you know? So that's what I did. But that was 20-some years ago. All right. So, y'all, my gravy ready. Y'all see that? That gravy ready. Look how thick it is. That gravy ready, baby. Now, I'm going to take my cube steaks. Cut my cube steaks in half, and I'm going to put them in this gravy, okay? Cut them in half and stick them right in this gravy. Now, see, y'all, that's what I mean by you don't have to cook a lot of these because you can cut them in half. But that's how I do that. Cut them in half, put that gravy in there. Now you can let your gravy sit a long time till it get, you know, I mean your cube steak, you can let it sit for a minute till it get kind of soft. Or you can just coat it, you know. Some people like they're still kind of, you know, on the crispy side a little bit. I like mine a little soft, I ain't gonna lie. So I'm gonna let mine sit here in this gravy. I'm gonna let it sit, and it's still on low, y'all. It's still on low. I ain't gonna cover it or nothing. I'm gonna let it sit here a good 5-6 minutes. I'm gonna clean up my mess and get ready to plate my rice and show y'all what it look like. All right, y'all, so my steak and my gravy is done. Look at my rice. Oh my goodness. Look at my rice, y'all. My rice is done. Let me grab me some, put on a plate. Okay, you see that rice? You see that rice? That rice got seasonings all up and through there, hunty. Plate me some of this rice. Look at that. Already seasoned. Okay? That's how you season your rice, y'all. And you can season it and give it any flavor you want. That's how you do that. Any flavor you want. Give me some of this gravy here. Put on top of my rice. Y'all see how dark my gravy done got? That's that gravy from scratch, baby, with them onions in there. That's that homemade gravy, honey. Get you some cube steak. Ooh, Lord have mercy. You know you gotta cook you some vegetables to go with this now, y'all. Y'all need some string beans or some lima beans or something like that, you know. You gotta have your vegetables, okay? Look at that right there. Look at that. Look at that rice and that gravy. Look at that. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. I had to pause for the call so I can get a thumbnail. But look at that. And I had to make it pretty for y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness, y'all. Whoo, child. Child, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Brace yourself. Brace yourself, Shantae. Brace yourself. Ooh! Y'all, ain't nothing like homemade gravy. Ain't nothing like that homemade gravy. That rice, oh my goodness. Cube steak just melt in your mouth. The average person can't make cube steak. They can cook a lot of stuff, but they can't cook cube steak. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look. That's so dang on good. That's how you make cube steak homemade gravy. Try to make you some. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to thumbs up the video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to share and leave a comment. I always like to read y'all comments and leave a comment back. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Until the next video, I will see you guys then. Bye.